are Arsenal already out of this title race? How many matches are we in already? What, 9?
Ugh.
10 matches in.
It's too early. It's too early to say that. Oh, and look, as an Arsenal fan, had Arsenal lost and City won, I would be saying a different thing. But because City also lost, I mean, come on.
But now Liverpool is now the another player that we all expected. It was either going to be Manchester City again, or maybe Arsenal has an opportunity here.
Right. And it still could be that.
It's still too
early. 10 matches into a season is still too early. You know what? I've always said you can't win a league. Well, first of all, I'm not the only one who says this is a very common thing. You can't win.
You came up with this, you're the author.
To be or not to. No, you can't.
Yo, those are bars right there,
bro. I got more, dog. I got more. Ask not what. Anyway, I'm gonna make a book.
Just you're teasing us.
I'm gonna make a book. But it's been said before. You can't win the Premier League before Christmas, but you can certainly lose it. I think you got to do a lot to lose it, though. I don't think Arsenal at the point now where they're losing it, but it hasn't looked good. It's a steady stream of mediocre matches recently. If that continues, and they've got some really tough tests coming up. They got, I think, Chelsea next in the Premier League. They got Inter Milan in Champions League. It could very well be that before Christmas we would be singing a different tune. But as of right now, today, I don't think Arsenal are completely out of it, and that's simply because Manchester City are dealing with a lot of injuries. And right now, they haven't been looking their best. They lost to Bournemouth. And if you ask me about Liverpool, bro, Arne Slot is having an incredible start, the best start in Liverpool history, by the way.
Sure.
But how many times do managers come from other leagues and they're like, yo, y'all play through the entire winter? Y'all don't take any breaks?
Yeah, there's going to be some hiccup at some point. I was shocked by that City result. Losing to Bournemouth is pretty crazy. I know they're dealing with, and this is something, because they have such a stacked squad, they usually don't, and just also maybe the way Pep handles his players, they don't, City for a long time have not really dealt with like injuries that disrupt their title runs, right?
Because there always seems to be somebody else on the bench that's like a world-class player.
But the injury to Savinho, that does seem pretty serious. I don't know if that affected the team in some way. I don't know. It's just
no De Bruyne, Kyle Walker coming back. Playing full 90, by the way, which is kind of crazy.
It does feel like if somebody gets injured, there is a player that steps up, because it almost feels like City is this system that as long as the players know their responsibilities, that the team is always going to thrive.
Plug and play.
Exactly. Yeah. And this was one of the first games where I'm like, oh, maybe it's not exactly that, right?
Also, Bernardo Silva looks like he's gassed. He looks like it's the end of the season already.
But they ask a lot of him, right? But the one thing that for Arsenal's credit in that, they are currently in 5th, but they've played a lot of really tough teams. They've already played City. They've already played Liverpool. They've had I forgot the exact stat, but they played, I think, at least one of the teams that are in like the top 10 already. They've played like 6 or 7 of them in these 10 matches. So this result or this current standing kind of makes sense for the challenging games that they've had. They haven't really had to face too many like quote unquote easy opponents. Right. So,
meanwhile, Liverpool's entire the first half or the first 80% of the 10 matches were a little bit softer.
Sure. So,
and again, like everything else, Arsenal have lost the season 2 years in a row after Christmas. It's after the January transfer window closes. They don't bring anyone in. City seemingly catch heat at the end of the season. They fall apart. So if right now we can struggle a little bit early up top, and then in the second half of the season make up for it, then this is anyone's game.
Yeah, I think, Odegaard coming back. I mean, just not, Calafiori coming back. There's a
get the injuries out of the way now.
But that's one of the main things with Arsenal, that they can't really recover from those injuries. They don't really have players.
They're not as deep.
Not as deep. They don't have really like for like kind of players.
You think they'd plan that out, huh?
Nah. What are you gonna do?
They'd be like, well, we got this one player that does X, Y, Z. Should we get another one that also kind of does that? Like, nah.
I mean, is it?
Yo, we'll put another center back in that spot.
It's a I wonder how the team is gonna look. Now, when they get, especially Odegaard, because the identity of their playing style feels so much like they don't look like the same team without Odegaard there. There's a swag that is missing.
There's no way to replace him.
They're getting, without Odegaard, they've been winning games here and there, but it's been in like set pieces and
it's a different Arsenal.
It's a different Arsenal.
It's the old 1-0 to the Arsenal style.
Yeah, so we'll see. So it doesn't seem like they're out of it yet, but it's getting maybe a little nervy. Some of these results for Arsenal fans.
It's not looking great, but it's not looking bad.
All right. So shout out to everybody watching on OneFootball. If you want more of this, subscribe to the Cooligans YouTube channel as well. It's in the description. Click like, click subscribe.
Hit all the buttons.
Hit all the buttons, all right? Smash on your keyboard. Who cares?
You know what? Throw the keyboard out the window.